Today's video is going to be a bit different. I asked Ben to pick out like a few stories for me to read on camera for the very first time so that we can both be scared together. The topic that he picked was imaginary friends. When I was little, I claimed to have an imaginary friend who had light brown hair and wore a nightgown. The Exorcist. And she had stars for eyes. Well, my niece was living at my old childhood home and she told me that she had a friend who misses me and she asked why I went away. When I asked who, she described my old imaginary friend. It was super spooky. Most of my extended family lived around the same area, so we have lots of gatherings. For the backstory, one of my uncles, let's call him Steve, lost a childhood friend when he was 7. Steve and his friend, let's call him Jack, were having a play date one afternoon and got a bit dirty in some mud. So Steve's mother gave Jack a pair of Steve's shoes to borrow. When Jack's father came to pick him up after the play date, they forgot to put back on Jack's shoes and Jack accidentally got into the car with the borrowed shoes still on. Tragically, the father and Jack got into a terrible car accident on the way home, which killed 7-year-old Jack. The family had him buried in the shoes he had borrowed from Steve, not sure why. Fast forward 30 years to a family gathering in 2010. My 6-year-old cousin Sarah is playing alone with toys and acquired a room of the house. My uncle Steve comes up to her and asks her what she's playing. Sarah responds saying that she was playing with a friend. Holding back a smile, Steve asks who her imaginary friend is. Sarah continues to play while saying that she is playing with his friend Jack, and that he is sorry he forgot to give her your shoes back. My uncle's jaw nearly dropped. He had not talked about Jack in years, let alone tell that story to a 6-year-old. No one had brought up Jack that day, nor at any family gatherings recently. Every time I remember this incident, I get chills. I had an imaginary friend named Derek who was a carbon copy of me. We were completely identical. I played with Derek for years, longer than what normal kids do, but he would always look at my mom and older sister with a sense of sadness. Eventually, he went away. 23 years later, I'm digging through my mom's safe to grab some paperwork she's kept for me, and I see a stillborn death certificate for a boy named Derek who shared my birthday. It was only then I found out I was actually a twin, and my twin Derek died during childbirth. Did you guys have any imaginary friends?